What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. My name is Hannibal. I'm with the big bro, Pedro. And I want to ask you a question, Pedro.
Oh, here we go. All right. Let's go. Let's get it done. Let's get it done.
How do you feel about your Chicago Bears? How you
Hmm.
feeling right now?
I don't feel great. Took a L on Sunday to your Giants. It
New
was
York
painful.
Football Giants.
Yeah, and the Bears didn't look that great. And
No.
yeah, cried a little bit on Sunday after.
Yeah, it was a very interesting day. I had a fantastic Sunday. Appreciate everyone who was hanging out with us. The 3 hours flew by. Seriously, I
For
had a great
sure.
time. Thank you to Nova Dasher for coming through. And grinding with Levi. Was it leveling up with Levi?
Levi, grinding with Levi. Yeah.
Grinding with Levi. Grinding with Levi he's more optimistic about the Giants than I am. He was like, listen, Saquon Barkley is the greatest running
Yeah, I
back
think
of all
he's got them
time.
winning the Super Bowl this year. It's crazy. Like,
Oh yeah, and then we had Hector that came in and
yeah.
was bothering you as well, saying how much the Bulls are going to suck this year. And I saw a preseason preseason game of the Bulls. Didn't look all that great, but it's preseason.
It's preseason. It
The
doesn't matter.
Nets. I don't know if you saw the Nets. Bill, Ben Simmons. You can tell I'm very excited. Ben Simmons, looking all right. He looked pretty good. I mean, he bricked his jump shot to be expected. He can't shoot, but all the baskets are near the basket. Like he did this for. So I got some high hopes for the. Again, I think they're going to win the championship. So did you check out any NBA preseason stuff?
You know what? The other night I was flipping through and I saw the Lakers playing the Kings, and
Didn't look that great
I
either.
watched it for like 5 minutes, but
Yeah.
I know they lost that game. But it's preseason, so to me, it really doesn't mean a whole lot. I don't look at the scores. I think these guys are just trying to work up a sweat, and it's more about the bench players and stuff. But I'm not. I think it was the Suns lost by like I don't know 1,000 points to like some 36ers team, which is basically like a bunch of nobodies. So I don't really look
The
at
Knicks looked pretty good. They beat up on the Pistons, and that felt like a game that could have been the season because the Pistons are rebuilding. But the Knicks look pretty good. I mean, yes, I was talking a lot of crap about Brunson. He could ball. He could play.
Sure,
You got him with RJ Barrett. Pretty decent. Now, how far they'll go, we'll never know, but we'll know later. But I can't complain about Brunson. Like I was giving him a lot of shit. Like, yeah, we paid him. I didn't pay him $100 million.
Yeah,
he's $100 million, but he can play. At least he's not embarrassing the Knicks right now.
No, he's not going to embarrass, and he plays hard. He's he's not. He's going to be okay. A lot of money, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's early. It's early.
I like his demeanor. He don't seem to be overly excited or like he seems like real even keel, which is great for New York because we can't control ourselves. I don't know if you've seen last year when the Knicks won the first game of the season, the parade that was outside Madison Square Garden. It was hilarious but embarrassing at the same time. Yeah. So if they win the first game of the year in Madison Square Garden, it's going to happen again. So it's gonna be crazy.
Brunson's legit. He played at Villanova, won a championship. He's he's used to winning in college, and then he goes to the Mavs. And Hector in the house. What up? I think Brunson's going to be good. It's the other guys around him. Like Brunson's going to be solid. Barrett needs to take the next step. Randall needs to figure it out. If they can get something from Derrick Rose, but the East is loaded, bro. So it's going to be difficult, but.
Awesome. Yeah. This is the best time of the year for sports. Everything is kind of coming together. So I'm excited. I want to say hi to everyone in the chat. See Goose, Garden State, change his name there. What's going on? Hector, Juan La. Eventually we're going to have her on so she can pronounce her name so we can.
No, she actually, I'll share this because I know she's probably still in here. She sent me something telling us how to pronounce her name.
Let me know.
So I'll, let me see if I can look it up. Hold on. Because I listened to it, and I don't want to play it here, but it's definitely appreciative. So I'm gonna get it. We're gonna get your name right. Don't worry.
All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Big supporter of all of our content. And Hector,
she's phenomenal.
And I think I got everyone that's in here. Hector, he's gonna come up with a lot of Knicks. I appreciate all the pro Knicks, pro Giants. Seeing Jets won as well. I don't know how that happened. Well, yeah, because Pickett threw like 3 picks, but. all the New York stuff, great. Now we do need some Chicago fans to come in and help Pedro because again, the Bears is going to need a lot of help. Pedro's going to need a lot of help. He did not feel too good that Sunday, and I don't know. I saw that the Bulls team with no Lonzo Ball. I don't know who's passing the ball to. I mean, it didn't look great.
It's preseason.
It's preseason. You know
preseason.
What? We're gonna move on from
listen,
that.
I see. I got everybody I need right behind me. See that guy right above my shoulder? You see him? That's the GOAT right there.
All
so
right. Is he playing for the?
We might need him to.
Come on, yeah, man. We need you to suit up. But I have another question for you as well. Oh, Nova Dash. I'm sorry. He said it's cool, Hannibal. Ignore him. Nova Dash, you're my dude, man. Like you made me lose money because I think Nova Dash likes to bet a lot. And he sent me a message. He's like, I'm betting. I'm like, oh, sure, I bet too. But then I lost money. Was it yesterday? No, Monday.
Yes. You know what we should do? We should do a bet this coming Sunday, the three of us. We should connect and do some kind of parlay and see, we should do something. That could be fun.
Yeah, because I won a big parlay on Sunday. 4 teams. I think, it's time to call me Parlay Hannibal. I can drop some really good knowledge on bets. I dropped, put 20, got $160 out of it. Just let me know. Like you asked me who's gonna win, I'll tell you. I think you remember from that live stream. I was just guessing. I was like, the Chiefs. What do you guys think?
I remember that. It literally took you about 10 seconds to put that together. But hey, man, I'm happy for you.
I put money in. I just make I put money together. I grow money. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, we'll talk about that more when we get towards Sunday. But talk about football. Antonio Brown. What is wrong with him? I mean, before we talk about the main topic of tonight. So Antonio Brown I don't know if I guess he's trying not to play in NFL. He's trolling Tom Brady with a Photoshop pic with him and his wife, which is weird because he actually stayed.
Yeah, that's absurd. It's childish. Like,
what is wrong with his brain? Then he's in Dubai showing his dick in a pool. Why? Like, why are you doing this? And apparently this happened back in May. So this happened a while ago, and I guess it kind of, the video came out. What is going on? Yeah, I think, Nova Dash probably is, he's a clown. Like, what is wrong with Antonio Brown?
He got hit one too many times, way too hard in the head. And I think he's having effects of that. I honestly believe that. And I don't think he has, maybe, I'm guessing because we don't know the man. I never met him, but I'm assuming he might not have a great support system around him. I don't know. I know he's got some kids. I don't know if he was married with the kid's mom. Like, I don't know if he's has some relational issues, but he's clearly screaming for help. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like screaming for it.
Yeah.
And, I think we have to remember, like, Tom Brady's like, hey, I want Antonio Brown. You can live with me, boom, boom, boom. And then, he leaves the team the way he did. Now he's talking shit on Tom Brady, putting up these weird posts about him hugging Giselle in the middle of them getting a divorce. Like, it's just really, it's bad, man. It's a very immature. And I think his brain's mush. And I think he doesn't, I think he knows consciously what he's doing, but I think he's just doesn't have the right people around him to say, dude, like, what is going on? And I think his ego is super inflated. And I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to be a train wreck, because I feel like that's where he's at right now.
Yeah, and everyone that's in the chat just throwing out basically what we all kind of agree. It must be some CTE, some heavy brain damage from the hits that he received. And again, everyone just brings up, Vontae's perfect, which that was one of the most violent hits I ever seen in a football game. More violent than the stuff I see in MMA, boxing. It was a devastating, because you could say the speed and the physics of him basically getting hit with a car. Your
brain is it literally just moves inside your skull, and that's not normal. Yeah.
So now I'm sure we all know what happened with Miami's quarterback Tua, of how he looked when he got hit. And now I think NFL is going to put in rules in the season to say, if you ever look like that, come getting up and you're wobbling, even if you pass concussion protocols, you're not going in the game at all. Like, I don't care if they don't care if they passed it. You're not going to be able to go back in the game.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good idea, or we're being a little bit too safety, like we're becoming too, like, sometimes soft? Is it
Mhm.
becoming too soft, or this is a good idea?
Yeah, good question. The NFL's definitely become way more soft and gets softer every year. Can't touch the quarterback. And I get it. It's $1 billion industry. It's $1 billion teams. Fantasy pumps in a lot of money. Sports betting, like
Gambling, yeah,
gambling, they need to protect the star players, and the star players are the quarterbacks. And wide receivers and running backs. Those are the ones that make these teams. Those are the stars of most of the on most teams. So they want to protect to make sure these guys aren't getting hit. They put in the rules as far as you can't lead with your helmet, and these are all good rules. But I also watching these games, there are times where somebody hits somebody fairly, and they automatically assume it's a bad hit. They throw a flag, so it's
yeah,
definitely a lot softer. But I think, based on the information that's come out, Will Smith did a movie right about this. There was a doctor that did these studies. Will Smith played the doctor. There's been multiple players in not just the NFL, but in other sports, combat sports, other things, hockey, that have committed suicide, that have, their brains have been, I think of Junior Seau, right? And
yeah, yeah,
he did that on purpose so they could look at his brain. When you have these things that happen, I do think the NFL has a responsibility to do something about it, but it's such a fast-paced game that things are going to happen, whether it's on purpose or not. So you can't prevent everything. But I do feel like we're getting to the point where it's going to be like the Pro Bowl games, where it's like basically flag football and you just touch somebody and they go down. Like,
yeah.
I don't want it to get to that level, but it's a tough place to be in, because sometimes I think that, like with Tua, his situation, the game before the last one, he took a big hit. He's wobbling. Halftime, he comes out, he comes back and plays okay, passed the protocol. But now that particular team doctor, I think, was fired, or I think they fired him.
Yeah, they fired him. I mean,
Yeah,
someone had to take the hit, even
somebody had to
though
take the L.
all the
Yeah, and
coaches sitting there. And I'm sure you coach a little bit, right? If you
mhm.
saw one of your players wobbling like that, would you have kept him in the game?
Well, I,
He wobbled,
when you're
wobbled. He
coaching on
didn't
an
like,
NFL level, I think it's way different. For me,
yeah.
one of my kids gets hurt or whatever, they're not playing. Like, we've had this happen before,
Mm.
and there's been times where they said, "I'm okay, I'm okay." As a parent or a coach of children, whether they're 15 or 6, you have to make the decision. They don't dictate. So there's been times when, whether it was a disciplinary issue or a physical issue, you're not playing. Like, this isn't this.
And their bodies are still developing too. So you
Yes,
have to even
yes,
be more,
yeah,
I guess, side on the caution.
yes, yeah,
But Tua did not look right when he got up, though. He looked
yeah,
off, and everyone we all kind of looked at it and like, are they letting him play? I was surprised. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
he's still playing this game? Like, I don't know. And then when he got hit the next week, it's like, wow, yeah. So yeah, when we try to win, winning takes a lot of, like they brought Antonio Brown, knowing how weird he was when he brought him to the Bucs, because he knew that he's a great wide receiver. When you have a multi-billion-dollar company, people are going to look at other way when
Yeah.
some serious health issues can be a problem. Hector had a really good comment about NFL being the most deadly of all sports, even worse than boxing and MMA combined. I would disagree with that. I think
Boxing is,
boxing is
yeah,
way dead. I mean, first of all, there's a guy who died recently. I don't have his name, but he fought maybe a week or two ago. He had a fight, 20 something years old, dead.
yeah.
Could be all types of different reasons why that happened, but
That
he
stuff
fought
happens
recently.
every week in those sports, but it's
Yeah,
usually with people that we don't know their names, and there isn't those sports aren't as popular in this country as football,
yeah.
right? So, but boxers are dying. It
I would
happens a
say
lot.
boxing is probably the most dangerous sport. MMA, I will say it's not as dangerous. Why? Because boxing is a lot of punches to the head. Because that's mainly what you're doing. You're the body, but you're getting punched hundreds and hundreds of times. MMA, there's so many different. It's kicks, punches, grappling. They're not just swinging for the fence. Now, there's one guy with CT. Well, I think he has CTA. Chuck Liddell. When you hear him speak, you could tell there's something there.
Yeah.
He's slurring his words. He does not sound the way he used to sound back in the 90s. So yeah, there's a few MMA stars that took a lot of beatings.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of the guys, even the ones who just recently retired, you hear them speak, very articulate, because most of them did other stuff. It's not just the boxing, it's kickboxing, there's jiu-jitsu, there's grappling. They're not spending 12 rounds like boxing, punch each other in the head. That's where you're going to see, like I said, countless people that you hear them, they fought and they're retired and they can't talk because their brains are all scrambled. So NFL, yes, dangerous sport. Of course it is, right? These gladiators, they put in armor and they're running at each other at full speed. But yeah, the brain, the CT stuff needs to be taken seriously. And I don't mind the new rule. I mean, if you're looking weird, it's like, hey, you know what? Let's err the side of caution here. Sit down. Yeah. Even if you are the quarterback, you know? So it doesn't make sense for me. Let's see. I'm gonna check the rest of the comments. Yeah, turf is harder. Yeah, ACL definitely. I see a few of those. I know my one of my running backs from the Giants, he's out. I don't know if it was a turf hit. I think it was just, I forgot how he hurt himself. But we'll see what's going on with Antonio Brown. I'm sure that's not the last time we're going to hear about this. But this kind of transition is actually a perfect transition, because some people kind of feel like they're the same. I disagree. They're not the same at all. But some people think that Kanye West is losing his mind. Did Kanye West play 5 seasons of football? And that's why.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
So I'm gonna show the pictures. I'm sure you guys already seen it. Kind of like it broke the internet type of thing. The white lives matter. So Kanye West had some kind of fashion show in Paris. You know how it is. He's bringing those clothes that none of us wear.
I think it was Easy 9 or something. I think it was like his 9th one out in Paris.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you. I've not brought any
I don't know.
product.
I don't get the high fashion. The high fashion to me, like what these people wear, the high fashion, it's like, it's so ugly. I can't even understand it.
Yeah, I don't understand any of it. Like a lot of the clothing that rappers talk about.
Yeah, the Balenciaga, like all this stuff looks absolutely absurd.
It's not for me, right?
No.
But he came up with this, and he also has some other comments. He said Black Lives Matter is a scam. And I actually saw your short.
Yeah,
there was appreciate you guys checking out the shorts. Like we kind of bringing more content in there and bringing more people into the fold. So definitely
the comments were buzzing on that short, man.
Oh yeah, it comes with race,
hot topic,
and Kanye and let's I want to preface this, and I'm sure you agree with me. We love Kanye West's music.
100%.
As an artist, I will stand here and say he will eventually, when it's all said and done, unless something happens, he will go down as one of probably the greatest hip hop producer of all time. And that's hard because there's still great ones still, but he is so damn gifted, and he's so effing weird. So you may be surprised by my response to the situation, but
I wanted to get your perspective first, because I put up the short and I said Kanye's crazy. What's going on?
Yeah.
And I stand by that statement. He is crazy, but I love Kanye West.
You said we lost him.
I think we've been losing him in some regards, but I want to hear your thoughts on this as a black man in this country. Yes, I want to get your perspective on this, because I think I know it's a hot topic.
If you guys just hear my voice, I am a black man.
Surprise!
Everyone in the chat, they know. Yeah, but Hannibal's black. Surprise, right? Yeah. So I like this comment. I miss the old Kanye. Yeah. I think we all do, but this is what I'm going to. So let me go all the way back a little bit. So Tom Cruise. I know it's a little all over the place, but Tom Cruise right now, what's that Air Force movie? What's it called? Top Gun, right? Top Gun, doing great. The last couple of years, all he is interested in doing is crazy stunts where he's doing the work himself. He clearly can get a stunt double, but he wants to fly the planes, fly these jets, like to a point where you can kind of tell this is what he likes to do. This is his one way of feeling alive, is almost killing himself. The adrenaline is so intoxicating. He can't just do a regular movie where he walks around and talks, right? Like that's his kink is probably not the best word for it, but that's his bag. That's what he's into.
Yeah.
Kanye realized this very, very early on. If you're going to promote a project, you must be as provocative as possible. This started back when I think he started this back when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, and they were doing some kind of some telethon, trying to get people to donate. And he stood there. I think he was standing next to Mike Myers, Austin Powers, and he said George Bush doesn't care about black people, and he saw what that did, right? And then from then on, and I feel this has become very fomatic. Like he knows, okay, I have a new album out. I gotta say something crazy. I gotta do something crazy. So some people may think Antonio Brown, Kanye, same person. No, I don't think there's no rhyme or reason what Antonio Brown is doing. I think it's legit brain issues. Kanye is calculating. Why? Why I think so? First of all, Kanye is a billionaire.
Yes.
People don't become billionaires by being stupid or being reckless. Now, there's some parts of his behavior I would agree, reckless, but he's doing this too often. It's too often. He's like, okay, I'm launching another line of clothes that none of us can, us, peasants can't ever afford, and look weird. Like, I don't know what he's trying to do, but I gotta do something crazy. All right, I'm gonna go back into the, that well of really, really controversial, provocative stuff. So I think that's what he's doing. Now, he says Black Lives Matter is a scam. Now, well, first of all, we'll talk about the scam part. He's not wrong.
True.
The problem is, and you notice that none of the really mainstream media talks about Black Lives Matter Foundation. They don't talk about it anymore. Why? Because it's a legit scam. So one of the founders, I think her name is Patrice. Actually, let me get her right name. Yeah, Patrice Cullors. All these homes, this woman owns all of them.
Yeah.
She has used money from Black Lives Matter to purchase homes for herself. Now she tries to lie and pretends it's for the organization. It's not. She's purchasing homes near celebrities. This is what the Black Lives Matter money went into her pocket. She calls herself a Marxist. Marxist people do not buy real estate because that's the whole point. It's anti-capitalism. And to a point where other Black Lives Matter leaders are condemning like mismanagement of funds. Why are you spending $6 million buying a home in California? I thought the money was supposed to be for Black lives. Only problem is it's only her Black life. So as much as Kanye West is a little bit off, and sometimes I think a lot of the dialogue between him and his family and his ex-wife, I can't vouch for that. I can't agree with that. That's a little weird and lame to me. I think it's all fake, but doing that publicly is kind of lame. But sometimes even a crazy person could be right. And so there's a few things that he does that make sense, but I think at the end of the day, he's a billionaire and he does this to promote his brand and to sell his clothes and to sell his music. So that's roundabout my thoughts on this subject. What do you think?
Yeah, I hear you. I think, listen, man, I don't know a lot about, I haven't done research on the Black Lives Matter business side and where the money's going and what they've used it for. Right.
Yeah.
But I definitely have seen a lot of the scam talk. Are they really, what's the hidden agenda here? Do they really care? Other things have happened and they've been silent about those things, but then they're very open about when it's something else. So I definitely think there's hidden agenda there with that organization, right? But that's just an opinion. But I think a lot of people think that. Yeah.
I'm sure it started with great intentions. A lot of money was pumped into this organization.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't get a check. Where's my check? Like, where's where's my? It was corrupted. And this person, this owner, went and did what every other people, like all the people that we complain about, the rich people, anti-capitalism in terms of that kind of, they take the money and run away. And that's what she did. And that's why you notice on CNN or MSNBC or even all these channels, they don't talk about it anymore. They don't talk about her because it's so obvious that she took that money and spent it on herself.
Yeah.
And how is it helping Black people?
Which is bad. It's sad because I think the thought of this movement, the shining a light on the injustices that have happened, right? And a lot of things, it's there. Regardless of how you feel about it, if you feel it's social, if you feel like it's Hollywoodized, it's like, oh, you're making it's there. Listen, if it's there. Okay. And it's been that way in this country for a certain kind of people. It just has been. But I think with Kanye and how I related, I agree with you about how he's a billionaire. You don't become a billionaire if you're not smart
There's no
and
stupid billionaires.
calculated.
It's impossible. You
He's
can't get there.
calculated. I think he's in some ways, his brain is very different. He's thinking on a different wavelength. I believe that. Just musically, I can say that. But then also with his fashion, he's forward thinking. He's thinking about the future. Like it's impressive. But I think he's so disconnected from the Black community. I do believe that. I think he's got so much money, power, influence. The circles that he is dealing with probably don't look and move like him and don't come from places that he came from, the South Side of Chicago.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes he forgets his roots, and that makes some people mad.
Mhm.
And that's cool, but he has said many times, like, he's like, I don't look at slavery the way y'all look at it. I'm not trying to be, I don't want to be like down with the community because look what the community talks about. I'm trying to get past that. So, and I get that.
Yeah.
But I think it's so controversial for him to do that and then do it with Candace Owens, another person.
We could talk about her and
another person that is also very, and I don't disagree with everything that these people say, like her or him.
Yeah.
But like you have to understand when you have the type of influence Kanye has, and there are people here struggling, there are people that are having a different experience than him. Some people look at him as they want him to be the leader for the Black community, and they don't see him doing that. And does he need to be the leader? No, he doesn't.
No.
Just because he's got money and influence, he doesn't have to be.
The guy makes music and makes shoes with holes in them.
Right. Look for other leaders because they are there. They're just not as popular as him, and they don't have his money.
Exactly. Coaches, there are tons
professors,
of people.
Yes. So, but when I saw that initially, I'm like, oh, it's just another thing that Kanye West is doing, and he's almost turning up his nose to people that look like him a little bit. And he's done it many, many times. And I feel like he's getting a little snobbish, a little like he's forgot he's from the South Side of Chicago. Like, don't forget that, Kanye. Like, do not forget that. And I think, that's just me. That's my opinion. I'm a huge supporter. I love Kanye West. I love his music. He's my favorite artist right there with Nas, like, but it's just like to do it with Kanye West. It's like, if you're doing it for effect and for publicity, that's fucked up a little bit, right? Like, why, you don't need that much more attention. Like, how much more do you need? How many more Yeezys do you need to sell? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would say they all, like that whole family, right? The family he was with, the Kim Kardashian, they're all billionaires, and all they do is find ways to draw attention to themselves through the drama in their lives. It never ever seems for them to think, hey, how about we just take a break? And how about we just stop displaying all of our dirty laundry? It just seems like it's not on purpose. Some might say it's accident. It's intentional.
Some might say he wasn't this. His mom passed. That was a big influence, I think.
Well, yes, obviously, yeah.
But also, when he got it with them Kardashians and the Jenner clan, he's been moving different since then. And those people over there, in my opinion, are some of the slimiest, weirdest, manipulating family.
Yeah,
and they move. And all they want is attention and clout. So I think he learned some things from them.
Yeah, just to be very extremely provocative. I mean, Kim Kardashian's empire came from a sex tape that wasn't even all that good. A friend told me about it. It wasn't all that great. Like, it wasn't
I think we talked to the same friend.
Like, it was very, very like, oh, like, really? This is what, like, come on, like, whatever. Very average. I was about to say mixtape, sex tape. So yeah, they already knew that, and the fact that Ray J has said that this is purpose. That the mom was watching it.
They signed a
and
contract.
Was deciding which, like, as she's a producer to her daughter's porn. So this is how disgusting the Hollywood is, and the idea that we need to be famous and successful, and the depths that people will go to. So putting in Kanye in that situation, while a very strong influence in his life, his mom, his father's still around, but he don't have the same connection to his mom. That, and also unchecked mental health issues. He doesn't want to take the medication anymore, because when you're a creative person and you take these really, really strong numbing
They bring you
medication.
down.
It
It
brings you
doesn't.
down.
Yeah.
It puts you to you feel bored, like boring, because your mind when you're not on it in certain situations, your brain is firing so many ideas. This medication just brings you down, and a lot of medication. I'm not going. I'm all over the place, but a lot of the school shooters, a lot of these rampage shootings, these people were on medication. They don't talk about that because pharmaceutical industry, you don't want that out there. But many of these school shooters, you can look this up. I'm not making it up. Many of them were on Prozac and Zoloft and stuff. The side effects for some of them are depression, which is you're
Mm,
supposed to be curing it, or suicide thoughts, even though you're supposed to be curing it. So all these medications, they're not perfect anyway.
mm.
Um, so in terms of Candace Owens, I put her in the same category of she does provocative things to
She
expand her
does.
brand.
Yeah.
When she first came out, when I remember seeing her on the internet, she was a liberal. She was not conservative yet. She actually was trying to make some kind of website or service to dox people who bullied someone. Like if someone was bullying you online, that there'll be a service that they could dox and find information and know who they are. So no anonymous bullies, which is the most cancel culture thing you could come and think of.
Yeah.
And then she got a lot of flack for that. And then somehow through all that, she turned conservative.
I think
And
she
she,
found a lane. I think she was trying to be like
yes,
that tone.
yes,
What's her name? The white chick with the blonde hair.
Lauren,
Yes.
Tommy Lauren, yeah,
Tommy. Yes. Thank you. And I think she was just trying to be
yeah,
like that, and a good, attractive female that isn't afraid to speak her mind, hot
exactly,
takes, blah blah blah. And I think she found a lane, and it's worked for her clearly.
yeah,
And But she also says provocative things, like the guy we talked about a couple weeks ago, Andrew Tate. These people. I think what we need to realize, these people are playing a role. I think
yes,
sometimes, and I think sometimes
absolutely,
they do believe what they're saying, and they might feel it, but not everything they're saying. They're feeding us provocative things, saying things because they want to be famous, they want to be viral, they want attention because they know that will get clicks and views and likes and shares and comments, and then that will propel them to monetary gain.
mm-hmm.
And I think Candace Owen is
Yeah.
part of that. I think.
Yeah.
As well.
I think, and I do believe at this point she does believe what she says. I don't think she's necessarily lying. I think she's conservative because she got so much attack from liberals. No, I think she at this point probably fully believes what she's
Yeah.
saying. But going back to what you're saying about attention and being viral, how I mean, watching wrestling, Eric Bischoff, WCW and TNA, he had a saying. He said, "Controversy creates cash."
Hmm.
That's what it is. Controversy. If you can put, and that's what Kanye kind of figured out. He probably learned that from dealing with him saying, George Bush doesn't care about black people, or grabbing the mic from Taylor Swift saying, I'll let you finish."
Yeah. Yep.
And then he went into a family that all they do is the most provocative, over the top, change their whole body to look like something that they don't look like. And he's I don't know if he's gone. I think he's still Kanye. He's not medicated.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire. He makes more money. Whatever that clothes that we don't wear, I think none of us in the comments wear his stuff. Still gets sold out.
I
People
wouldn't. I
still
can't
buy it.
afford that.
Yeah, I guess if everyone in the comments wanted to donate to buy one shirt,
We could share it. We'll all buy a shirt or a hoodie together. I think it's like the oversized look is what's in. We'll buy some chunky boots,
yeah,
and we'll wear like a trash bag for jeans, and that'll be like a Balenciaga outfit.
yeah,
We can
right.
share it.
I don't know. Hector says Kanye is a bipolar individual who self-medicates. I don't know if he's is he bipolar? Is he? I know he's.
I think no, he's
He
come
could
out.
be.
I feel like
Yeah,
he's come out and actually said that.
yeah,
And I think the way he self-medicates, in my opinion, is with the fame and with the influence, and with him being the richest black man in the country, and like he knows that. And I think he always wants to push the envelope, and he wants people to know he's so different. And I think he feeds off that. I think that's how he self-medicates, in my opinion. I think he's just such a maniac in that way. And I love Kanye. Like I am a huge. We've talked about Kanye West a dozen times on this channel. I really love most things about him. I just like. For me, it's almost sad because I
yeah,
feel like he's taking something that is so great. His mind is great. The way he looks at things, whether it's musically or fashion or whatever else, and he's like turning it into something that is beautiful and sometimes is or was, and he's turning it into like something that is like so different than what it could be, in my opinion. And he's just like trying too hard. And I think he's so brilliant in so many ways. He doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need the Kardashian crap. He doesn't need to wear a White Lives Matter t-shirt to stir up controversy. Like, he doesn't need to do that stuff. But I think he doesn't understand that he doesn't need to, because he's not all the way there, you know.
Garden State had a good I think an interesting comment. Kanye isn't lost. His mom's death has been bad for him for sure, but he always been the same. Do you agree that the loss of his mom and any parent, like, I don't know how that, I can't imagine that. So like, you know, my chick, her mom passed when she was 9 from breast cancer. I don't know how. I mean, she's strong, obviously, to keep going, obviously, but to lose a parent changed to your life, significantly. So that is a big thing. But do you think Kanye always had the brash, confident, provocative, outside thinking, or you know, like,
I think he's always had that chip on his shoulder, that swagger, that confidence, that cockiness, that I'm gonna prove you. But I think so many things have happened in his journey. From his growing up south side of Chicago, music, Rockefeller Records, becoming very famous very quickly, from coming from being a producer to then an MC and always having to prove himself. And I think it's just progressed. I think this monster has grown into something that now it's like he's basically one of the top 5 biggest celebrities in the entire world. And when you're from the south side of Chicago and you came from nothing to where you couldn't pay your bills when you were 20, 21, 22, and you were broke, to now where you're at now, and it's only been 20 years, that's, that changes people. So I don't think he's been the same guy. I think he's morphed into something different.
Yeah. And that's also something that you can't control, considering that most people on earth don't come from one extreme to the I'm a billionaire and I'm an influential person. Also dealing with the death of your parents, going on another high level, high profile marriage where maybe if you would have stayed with the one chick that people didn't know, at least it'd be a little bit different, where, Kim Kardashian trying to build her empire, you're trying to build yours, and it seemed like it was going to work. It just seemed like I thought that, or if they were to stay this long, they were going to stay around forever. But I think Kanye's mental health kind of, I don't know if it deteriorated to a point where she didn't want to deal with it. Also, people just break up, right? I mean, I just saw Tom Brady and his chick. They're about to break up, right?
I'm not surprised by that. I think Tom Brady's like, I think he's married to football. You know what I'm saying? I think she's like, forget you. Like, you're going to unretire? Nah, I'm good. So she's about to, I'm not surprised by it.
But. Bobby says that parlay should get you one shoe.
They'll get him. Well, no, I would say he's getting him some laces, but I don't think
laces,
I don't think they have any laces.
Maybe some socks. Yeah, but we have to do a lot of cuddles to get that hood. Yeah. I mean, they're expensive, and it's weird. Like, and it depends on what parts of New York you would see people wearing that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Manhattan. Street fashion and stuff.
Yeah, you would see some of the Balenciaga shoes. I've seen someone. I want to talk about gig work, but I ordered Instacart groceries. I shit you not. A young lady came, dropped all the groceries. She had Balenciaga shoes on.
Well,
no, I don't know if they were real.
Knock off. I'm sure they're. I mean, it had to be. If she's doing Instacart, she's not spending. I don't know how much they cost.
They're making money.
I hope she's not. I mean, that's crazy.
I'm doing Instacart runs. I got my Gucci hat on, Gucci shoes, and Balenciaga.
That is. Listen, that's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast.
But yeah, it's very expensive. And hey, listen, if it works, it works. Gardner says, look at interviews with people in his old circles. Don C, Talib, Mos Def, they talk about how he always act out in the crowd talking at shows. Yeah, like he'll have, you can tell like he has, and he was doing it at the fashion show. He'll have these sometimes incoherent rushes of rant, and he'll just rant. A lot of it is disconnected. Some make sense. Like the Black Lives Matter, I do agree. But there's times where he'll start talking about other things about Elvis. So, dude, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I lost you there, boy.
I saw the tweet that came out yesterday or today or 2 days ago talking about BLM was a scam. I
Yeah,
just ended it. You guys are all welcome. I think it said
I
something to that effect, right? So I
yeah
feel like he's such like his ego is so crazy.
yeah. He didn't end
With
anything. He
he
just
didn't
talked about
anything,
it.
but I think
Yeah,
he feels honestly. I think that he feels that him making those shirts and like what the fuck is Candace Owen doing at a Yeezy's fashion show in
she
Paris?
came back in the
It's a
fold
part
because
of
at
the
one point
fashion,
she
but
yeah
I mean, come on, like so that's a calculated move, like you said, right?
yeah.
And the photo op and all that, like it's for attention, and I think he wants to be in some way the guy's like, oh well, I'll end all this by saying all lives or no, white lives matter because well they do clearly, like we don't want to see white people die, right? But at the end of the day, like that's not the point of the movement initially. So it's just you're taking your nose and turning it up, I think, to a certain people that feel a certain way. And it's just, I hate to see Kanye isolate himself so much because I feel like he's got so much more to offer. And in my opinion, hey, you're making fashion. That's cool. That's how you're going to be a billionaire. That's how he is a billionaire. It's not from music.
Yeah, it's not from me. It's from
Okay.
those
It's
weird
from that
clothes.
and his investments. But like, I think he could do more. I just do. And I think he's settling and he's trying to be the next Ralph Lauren or whatever. Like, who cares about clothes? Like, really? Like, that's what we're doing in
That's why
2022? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think we're in the wrong business. We gotta start making some weirdo clothes because I mean this is basic stuff. I doubt this is what the fashion is about. But
Yeah.
okay, I think the problem is extremes, right? Extreme
Yeah.
right, extreme left. I don't like that. I don't. It reminds
Neither
me of
do
a
I.
cult, and
Neither
cults
do I.
weird me out because a
Yeah.
cult where like if someone wore a White Lives Matter, does that necessarily means that they don't like they're against black people?
Hmm.
No, but
Some would think that
certain
though. A
people
lot
would
of
get
people
a
would think
street.
that.
Like if I wore that out right now, I would probably have some issues. I'm like,
Yes.
hold on a second. I'm just saying that we all get along. No, if like, why are we so in a cult like program response for everything instead of having a nuanced conversation? Let me break it in semantics. Okay,
Mm.
all lives matter, but you're disrespecting Black lives. Is it? Are
Yeah.
we? Or we're not paying attention to some of the issues that the Black people are facing by saying all lives matter? Well,
Mm.
how you know about that unless you ask the person who said all lives matter? Like, why are we so tribalized and nothing ever really changes? We just become more and more, at odds with each other, especially
Yeah.
liberals and
It creates a greater divide when we don't need a divide because there's one there already, right?
yeah,
And it creates a greater divide when we hear too strong or too passionate positions on either side. It creates a greater divide because then somebody's just trying to get their point across versus having an actual conversation and listening, right?
yeah.
About somebody's perspective. Because I don't know what it's like to be a black man in America, right? But so I can't relate to that. I'm a brown man, but I'm white looking, right? So if I get pulled over by a cop, like I'm not, it's my perspective is different. It just is, and I know that. But I also realize like I can't assume something about somebody else because I don't walk in their shoes. And I think too many of us want to be right about our side and we don't
Right.
want to listen, and these kind of things. And what the reason I had an issue with Kanye making those shirts and wearing it is because it, in my opinion, I could be wrong, it causes more of a divide because
He wants to win points. It's all about point. Like let me. I'm getting over the libs because
yeah,
they decide to do this, and it
yeah,
gets tiring. So I do
yeah,
agree that in his a way of trying to promote the clothing line, he is exploiting the divide politically, and he could like I said, try to find a way to bring people together. And he says that sometimes when he does his rants, but going back to a comment I think someone already put up there about the ability or the problem that we have where we worship celebrities.
mm,
We should not get our political analysis from Kanye West. This is what David Chappelle said. Like,
yeah,
who gives a shit what Ja Rule says? Like, oh, I'm scared about the terrorism. let's someone call Ja Rule and ask him what's going on. Like, who cares what celebrities like?
Yeah.
They're good at one thing. They put their 10,000 hours at a craft that if it's unless it's a, about politics, they know as much as we do. But
Yeah.
we look at Kanye West and conservatives and liberals too. They take celebrities and define which ones they agree with and put them on a pedestal. So
Mm.
conservatives love Kanye West right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, he and I'll say this without having statistics, and I'm gonna assume maybe I'll make an ass of myself. Don't care.
Mm.
Most of the people that buy his stuff are conservative. A lot of them are conservative, and they don't look like you and I. I think the
Yeah,
people that are rocking his clothes are not the people from South Side of Chicago. They're not from St.
they can't
Louis. They're not
afford a
living in. We
shit.
can't exactly. So just like he's a smart dude. Like you said in the beginning, he knows what he's doing. You don't become a billionaire overnight. Like he's very calculated, and it's a good chess move on his part. I didn't like it, man. I stand by that. I just didn't. It just rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe I'm not intellectual enough. Maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I'm not well read enough. But it's a bad look for me. I just don't like it. He's done too many things to put up his nose at certain people, and I don't appreciate that. I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel what you're saying. You get tired of it. Yeah, it's a problem because what you're saying, he could do so much. He could do better. He could be like the Mr. Beast kind of thing, where he just be chilling and be positive and give money away. Never give money away, but
Yeah, but he ain't
spread
that. He ain't
love and
that.
just.
He ain't that.
But Kanye does not want that because I'm sure he sees. He goes on social media and he gets a lot of crap about you hate other black people. I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't.
But yeah, why can't we all love one another? It's too much social media. I mean, that's going to be a constant point on this podcast.
Yeah.
Social media is ripping a lot of people apart. Pedro knows it's unrelated, but you talked about how toxic certain stuff
Yeah.
is in terms of social media,
Yeah,
YouTube,
I did. I did.
and
Yeah.
it can really bring people apart by bringing everyone a chance to speak. But for some reason, the way the algorithm is constructed, you are going to be shown something to get you mad,
Yes.
to give you an emotional response to continue to watch the show. So if you decide to talk about loving with each other and being positive, unless something amazing happens, they're not going to push that video out. They're going to push that content out. But if you say I hate something,
Mm.
that content gets pushed out faster. And that
Yeah,
yeah.
it's sad, but and really, who do we blame? Do we blame the content creators? Do we blame the social media companies that put these social media apps together, or do we blame the viewers that are watching? It's supply and demand, guys, right? So there's obviously a demand for negativity, controversy, hot takes, opinionated talk, stirring the pot. That is what sells. You turn on your news right now. If it bleeds, it leads. It's
Mhm.
going to be something negative. And then usually the good stuff is like they have a little segment, a little 30-second
Yeah,
clip.
those puppies.
Oh, little puppies. And hey, this guy delivered an Instacart in Balenciaga shoes and he brought it up on 10 10 flights of stairs. And he would, like bull.
Yeah.
So I think it says more about us as consumers, in my opinion, than it does anything else. And a lot of us are trying to do better. We're trying to improve certain things and make better content, have discussions, not click on the video. But we're humans. We're flawed. We like the drama. We like the controversy. Me and Hannibal are talking about Kanye West right now, what he did, right? So like we have to understand that there is value in talking about it, but it's like, at what point do we like say enough is enough? Because like there's just so much toxicity, man. Like it's wild to me. It's
Yeah.
just it's there and it's always been there. And I think now with social media being so relevant, I feel like every year it becomes more relevant. There's more apps, more people coming on it, and all these the younger generation, they don't know any different. When Hannibal and I was growing up, we didn't have social media like this. But now everybody that's 15 or so, or 12 or 10, whenever you get your first phone, these apps are already on your phone. You don't even need to look for them. They're there and they're feeding you all this information. And in some ways, it's dumbing down these generations in some ways. And it's an issue.
Yeah, I actually had a conversation with my chick earlier today about um the algorithm and how they recommend things to you. So Garden State, I have the same issue. YouTube is dangerous.
Yeah,
I fell in the rabbit hole of extremism. Yeah, like very
facts. Me
quickly
too, man.
too.
Yes,
Very
yes,
quickly. Like you watch
yes.
one Kevin Samuels video, you get like 10 recommendations of videos that are clearly men coping with not able to find the right woman and they really, really mad about it. And there's like women are terrible and they out to get you. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. I was watching a funny Kevin Samuels video. But it
Yeah.
gets the algorithm. I was complaining about this on Sunday. Instagram, you see one video of a woman dancing, right? Right? And maybe a bikini or something. Then you fire up the app again. There's 15 of those videos.
Yeah.
You know, you just in a
It's a trap almost, kind of. Like
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So I think the YouTube is really, really good at this, and TikTok is amazing at this.
TikTok's crazy,
They
man.
are exploiting our human nature. It's how we are as humans, how we're able to survive, thousands and thousands of years. They're just super smart. They know where to poke. So as much as it is our fault because we're subscribing to it and watching it, but there's
But
certain things about
that's
being
what's there. Yeah.
certain things about being a human that we can't just turn off. But at least
Yeah.
I think at least we should be more aware of our strengths and weaknesses as human beings, right?
Mm.
We kind of, much as we like it, we like to like to watch the things that bleed and lead compared to the positive story, right?
Yeah, no,
We like
Hannibal
to
loves to
gossip.
watch the women with the big asses,
Way.
and I like to watch women that just also have big asses. So yeah, I don't know. What do we do? I don't
It's
know.
just it's human nature. You know that Michael Jackson song, like I don't know.
Somebody, and I don't know. I haven't gone down the rabbit hole. Haven't done any research, but let's bring it up now because somebody sent me an email talking about TikTok, and TikTok is what they sent me was they were saying it's a Chinese company or something
Yeah,
or
it's based in China.
okay, and they have two separate programs for the what they show the people that live in China and the
Yes.
kind of content that they push out
Yes.
versus the kind of content that they show us Americans. And it's very different.
Yeah.
And that's done for a reason to dumb us down and to keep us not informed. Whereas with the Chinese people, they're trying to show them skills and lessons and learning. And it's very different. And I think most people on TikTok don't know that TikTok is from China, right?
No.
I think most people don't. I didn't until somebody told me that. And I didn't even do my own research to see if that was accurate or not. But my point is, it goes to what we're saying. Like, we like what we like in America. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily. We're just trying to live our best life and look at girls with big asses or look at this funny Kevin Samuels thing or to get some entertainment to escape from the everyday grind of having a family and being a father and being a dad and paying the bills. And it gets stressful. So you want a little bit of an escape, right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But it's all about like how much are you ingesting? If that's taking up too much of your time, if you're too involved in the negativity, then it becomes toxic, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But it's an interesting thing about the TikTok. I didn't know if you knew that. I just kind of learned that in the last
Yeah,
couple of
that
weeks.
that is yeah, that's mainly
Okay, yeah, that's the same. I didn't
accurate
read that comment, but yeah, that's
where China, obviously it's communism. They're controlling their people, government runs everything. They want a certain kind of society compared to the individual America, right?
mm,
Hey, just do you, be you. China's like, no, there's certain activities, there's certain behaviors you do not want.
yeah,
So they're really anti-feminine and men being on programs and TV or movies. So if you watch their military commercials, it's a big difference between ours where we're saying we're inclusive. China is like we're out to kill you, and we're gonna have all
mm,
these jets and the cool music. You could check it out on YouTube. They're trying to maintain a certain way of what a man is or a woman is, what kind of society that we want. While
yeah,
America, we don't do that here. So definitely true. And also we have, well, I had to put that in, obviously. Yeah,
What up, Cliff?
yeah, like obviously, Cliff Dog. I appreciate. I don't mind that being interrupted. Also, giggity. Yeah, of course. Like,
We're disgusting guys. We're
yeah, so
disgusting.
the big to a point where you run out of what you have to help.
No, no,
You
no.
know, when you run out, you don't have no more. When she's like, "Oh, well, this is all
No,
I got."
no, no,
Anyway,
no.
let's go back to the idea of TikTok. So, and then yeah, TikTok is from China, and there's politicians that's trying to shut it down. And for some, I don't think it's going to get shut down, but Instagram is just taking, and YouTube are taking TikTok's algorithm and what works and just putting it over there. So we're going to
Yeah.
deal with it no matter what, especially if you have a young daughter. Like if you have a teenage daughter, got to deal with this. I'm going to say this right now. My son will probably not have a phone until he's probably 16, 17. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do that.
yeah, man. That's gonna be a hot top. That's gonna be a tough one for you, bro. You know that.
But
You know that.
the ability the how toxic these apps are to mental health of young people,
Yeah.
it's a fight I'm willing to partake in
No, I
to
respect that.
keep his mental health as strong as possible.
Yeah, it is. And I think it affects young men and young women differently. I think social media affects young women more in the beginning of their young adult life,
Yeah,
and then I think as time goes, social media affects older men more later on. And it's tough, man, because there are so many great things about YouTube and social media and Facebook and connection and learning. And I mean, I love YouTube. Like I love it. I've learned so much from YouTube. There's such great things to search if you know what you're looking for, and ask questions, and it's fantastic. Most of it is good and positive, I think, but there's still so much information on there and on the internet and overall, and it's just the negative shit is what people like, like they like the drama, like they like these shows that are like the Desperate Housewives and Real Housewives of Brooklyn and Real this and da da da. It's like my girlfriend watches that smut TV, is what I call it, and it's like it's just so trashy, but it's like it lures you in because it's so trashy.
yeah, and we're gonna. I think in the next show, I want to talk about a lot of the issues that are plaguing young men and boys because we are lost as a lot of a collective of men.
Yeah,
We are falling behind. Um, how the school system is built while girls thrive. And you're not saying that's a problem, but boys are getting left behind. A lot of them are dropping out of college. A lot of them are not
yeah,
working. A lot of them are committing suicide. They are having drug overdose issues. A lot of them are just sitting at home with no future. So in
yeah,
the next episode, I want to talk because I saw a really interesting video that kind of illustrated this. Was an author talking about a lot of the problems that's plaguing young men compared to back in the 70s where there were, your warehouse jobs, your factory jobs, and a lot of the manufacturing. Those things are moved away from now it's service-based stuff where the women thrive and men are not, and women looking for strong men, but there's not a lot of them, and it's
yeah.
a really big issue. So I really want to have a deep dive in the next episode
I
talking
think
about that.
that's yeah, I think that's great, and I think there's a huge disconnect even in like the dating world and what women want, and they expect a man to make six figures, and I don't think most people understand that making six figures is not normal. Less than 2% of men make six figures,
Yeah,
and I think there's this big disconnect, and then it forces men to then try to do this and do that and keep up, and it becomes this vicious cycle. And I think you're right, man. Like it's the state of manhood right now is not in a good spot, and it
yeah,
starts with us as young men, boys, young men growing up, and social media doesn't help that. And being told, well, you need this man, my man has to have this, he needs to be able to make this kind of money, he's got to have this kind of car, I don't want him to, and you're being fed that, and you're thinking
yeah,
that that's and some men, we own that we want a certain woman that looks a certain way, and these women are telling us they want us to do this, and it's like
yeah. It goes both ways.
it goes both ways, and
Goes
there's
both
this
ways. Yeah,
condition of love, like, well, I'm gonna love you, but you got to provide. But like, men aren't heard enough nowadays. Like it's a lot, and
yeah.
I see it even around me with certain friends I have, and it's men are struggling out here, man. It's a
Yeah.
real thing. Like,
I think, definitely in the 60s and 70s where, feminism took a rise. And hey, listen, we don't want to, all of us don't want to stay in the home. We have more to provide the world now, to a point where women are doing pretty, I will say in America alone. I mean, there's certain areas where, there's still issues. I mean, and parts of, in Europe, not Europe. I think what I'm trying to figure out, some countries where women just started learn able to drive, right,
yeah,
legally.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Middle
So, but
East.
in terms of America, where I think, I think we have made some progress, but some men are getting left behind. I would say many men are getting left behind, and it's important to talk about everything and say, hey, what's going on here? And so I'm gonna get some of the clips from this video, and this author has some interesting ideas of how to help at least bridge the gap a little bit, where he said, hey, listen, your kids, male boys, should go to start school a year later than girls, which is a very controversial opinion that probably will never really happen in reality. But he gives arguments of why he thinks that, mostly because girls' brains develop faster. So
Yeah,
you're putting up in a kindergarten class, girls who are probably able to sit
yeah,
down and
they're
pay
on different
attention.
levels.
Yeah, and the boy is just falling off his chair and flip like I have when I was a kindergarten. My son, where we just not paying attention. It's like, well, you could have just stayed your ass home for another year. So there's some interesting ideas. So we're definitely going to get into that.
Yeah.
But anyway, props to the chat, Cliff Dog and Hector and Qual. I won't get that pronounced right, but I'm just going to call you Q for right now until I get the pronunciation. But I appreciate you coming. Really great comments about this situation. We don't know what's gonna happen with Kanye. I think he's just gonna keep being Kanye, and he's gonna just do what
Yeah.
he does to promote what he has, and we just hope what he puts out there, in terms of his music, still touches us in a way that's a positive, right? When he puts out music, the clothes, we can't afford it, so I can't understand that level of
I don't even
expression.
like how it look. I mean, some of the Yeezys, I guess you want to call them, like, look
When
all
he
right, but
first came
right
out,
now I can't get with, and
or
like it doesn't look good to me at all. Like, I
yeah,
can't.
there was some sneakers that he did with Adidas
They
that
look
looked
good.
good. Like it
Yeah.
was like red ones, like those. I forgot, it was like October's, or what they
Red
called them.
October. Yeah.
I like. Okay, I like that. And then the other ones that just looks like a space shoe.
Yeah.
Not
I
for
don't
me.
know what. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there, man.
Yeah.
But that's
Um.
high fashion, so it's different.
Appreciate Cliff Dog. Shout out to you guys having this podcast. When we all have the live about the next topic. So we
So
are
let's talk about
planning.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're planning to do 2 a week. Saturday, I am going to be doing something. So are you available Friday? I know this should have been happening. This
No,
conversation happened.
wait, listen, it's just us. We can just talk. Okay.
Okay.
I know I'm not available Friday because me and the girl, I'm taking my girl out. We're gonna go catch a movie. She wants a movie. There's a movie she wants to see, and then we're probably gonna have dinner. So we got a babysitter for Friday.
Yeah.
And then you can't do Saturday, neither could I. So like I could do, I don't know. We gotta figure this out because guys, listen, we do every Wednesday, but we're trying to do another one on the weekend. So that's gonna be coming. Obviously, this weekend doesn't look like a match, but we're gonna be giving you guys 2 shows because
Yeah.
we like to talk with each other,
Yeah. Obviously.
and there's plenty of things to discuss.
Maybe
So
we'll do like a special edition, maybe a Monday, because we can, if you're available Monday.
yeah, I can do that.
It's the,
Monday.
Sunday games will come out, and then and, check out I may drop a parlay for actually I probably not. I'm gonna lose. Don't follow me. I'm gonna lose
Listen,
y'all money.
no, you just made one. So for all the sports fans out there listening or watching on YouTube, I'm gonna do a parlay on for the Sunday games. I got
Okay.
one I've been thinking about. I don't think I'm gonna do money line teams. I'm actually gonna do one that's more about stats. So so you can place a bet like like Russell Wilson, for example, throwing more than
He sucks.
230 yards,
What
or that
happened to
he
him?
does. I don't know. Listen, but I'm gonna do one this week, and then we can share that on Monday or whenever we talk next. So we'll see how it is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I was laughing about, your Bears, we're gonna play the Packers in London. We're gonna lose that game, so we'll be 3-2. I'm not even gonna try. Maybe Aaron Rodgers goes over there, parties a little bit too much with London, pretty girls over there. He's jet lagged, passes out, plays like garbage. It's possible. No, you just hate him.
Well, I hate Aaron Rodgers,
man.
Listen, I'll tell you this right now. I am rooting for the Giants. I hate the Packers.
That's how
So
much you do not like Aaron Rodgers.
I'm rooting. No, I am legit rooting for the Giants. I hope you guys win. I hate Aaron Rodgers. I hate the Green Bay Packers. So I don't want them to win. They're in my division.
We also need to talk about the whole London thing. It's a goofy time, and it does affect the play because I don't know what's going to happen. It's possible that Aaron Rodgers throw 3 picks and not know what the hell's going on, or he could just do his usual thing. But
I don't think he's ever thrown 3 picks. So I don't. We'll see. But
yeah, probably. Yeah, pretty much. But on that note, guys, thank you all for coming through. Nova Dasher, you're a hater, but thank you for coming through as well. I appreciate you. You rooting for Giants to lose. Hey, you want to bet, Nova? Actually, your bets are kind of crazy. You want to bet $300? Like, I don't got that kind of money.
No,
I don't got Kanye money, Nova Dasher. So I can't.
Listen, y'all. The podcast is not hit like that yet.
No.
But if you want to help us, you can subscribe and hit.
You can subscribe,
hit the thumbs
like,
up for us.
Share, and Nova, you want to do a $10 bet? I'm all in there for you, but I ain't got no $300. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys for coming through. We guys will see you next week. Peace.